How did I forget about Kat Napolitano and the body frenemy crew? Well, we're going to get into it today. Where are they now? What's going on? Let's get into all the drama and the tea. Let's roll that disclaimer.
Honey, I'm a perfect 10. Whoa, whoa. And if I say it enough, it gets ingrained in my head, and I start to.
Hey everybody, I'm Bethany Brodeghem. I am an opera singer and a former Beachbody coach for 7 years from 2014 to 2021. And on this channel, I spill all the tea about what it's like to be in an MLM. I debunk things, and we also get into some of those manifestation and personal development gurus because they're also scamming people. But today, we are checking in on this body friend group that has all split ways as a result of Beachbody going affiliate. So this all started when one of you, thank you so much, DM'd me to give me a heads up that Kat Napolitano was passive aggressively throwing shade at Autumn Calibies in her Instagram story. Are we going to watch that? Absolutely. I screen recorded it before it went away. By the way, sidebar, the reason this video is a little late is because I already recorded it once, and for some reason my computer didn't save it. I had to go in and delete a bunch of my old videos because I don't need them anymore. They're already posted, but I need more room. So that's why this is a little late. Thank you for being patient with me. But before we get into what Kat is saying right now, let's get into the lore. Okay, so first we have obviously Autumn Calibies. We've covered her before on our channel. She is very famous Beachbody super trainer, or famous to Beachbody people. She is the creator of 21 Day Fix, 21 Day Fix Extreme, a ton of programs. She and Carl allegedly got together at some point. Allegedly. I have to say allegedly, but it's like, we know, right? And so she has made the most programs in this modern Beachbody era of anyone. And Kat Napolitano was Autumn's right-hand woman. So Kat was the modifier in the original 21 Day Fix. And then also the 21 Day Fix Real Time that came out in 2019, and the 21 Day Fix Extreme Real Time that flowed right into that. So they filmed those in real time. And I believe she was also in 9 Week Control Freak. 9 Week Control Freak, 21 Day Fix, and Fix Extreme. So Kat has been in the scene for a while, and they would often post together, besties, best friends. Kat would post on Autumn's birthday, like tribute reels to her. So those two were besties. In this friend group, we also had Tanya Barron, the Machine. We first saw Tanya in the original Insanity program with Shaun T. Tanya was a background dancer for Britney Spears, which is awesome. And she and Shaun met through the dance community, and that's how Tanya got into Beachbody. And she also, of course, became a coach and had a huge downline, was one of the top coaches. I actually one time was tied with her in terms of rank, but I was not making nearly as much money. I did not have nearly as big of a downline. I only say that because the way that they determine your rank in Beachbody has a lot to do with the new people you're bringing in and if they are hitting certain metrics. So you can get like a ton of elite points if someone you brought in hits a certain rank. And I literally had one person hit a certain rank, and that made it look like I was number 147 in the entire network. But in terms of like how much money you're making, I was definitely not. Well, I might have been, because so few people actually make money. I might have been number 147 in the network. That's Tanya. So Tanya somehow hopped from Shaun T to Autumn, and Shania. And Tanya was in 9 Week Control Freak. She was one of the cast members in that. They started forming this friend group. We also have Donald Stamper. Donald was a cast member of 80 Day Obsession, another one of Autumn's programs. And we all at the time really loved Donald, all of us who were doing 80-Day Obsession and very deep in Beachbody at the time, because Donald was very relatable. He was very inflexible. He hated cardio, and he had like a good attitude, but it was also like, oh, sometimes this sucks. He was very charismatic and funny in 80-Day Obsession, and we all loved Donald. So Donald was in this friend group, and then rounding it out, we have Erin Hopkins and Christina Delgado, who were in Belle Vitale. They were the cast of Belle Vitale, which is Autumn's most recent program that flopped because Beachbody decided to go affiliate before the Belle Vitale launch. And since most of the customers are the coaches or the partners, and they all left, they did not decide to stay affiliates and just sell the products because they know they can make more money if they have a massive downline. So they took their downlines to other MLMs. So the last time we see Autumn and Kat Napolitano on each other's Instagrams was October 13th, 2024, 2 weeks after Beachbody announced it was going affiliate. We had a reel of all of them on the cruise, which was shortly after the affiliate announcement, all dancing together. Kat is still selling Belle Vitale, so she has a link to it on her link tree. She still has her body affiliate link, I assume. But something happened. Kat and Autumn no longer talking, interacting, posting on each other's Instagrams. Tanya seems to be on Team Kat. They have posted together. Kat did a reel for Tanya on her birthday saying, "This is my bestie." So I guess Kat's bestie now is Tanya. And they joined Make Wellness, Fake Wellness, as I like to call it, which is such an obvious joke, but honestly, they kind of set themselves up for it. So Christina Delgado and Erin Hopkins also joined Fake Wellness. Autumn unfollowed all these people. Carl even unfollowed Erin and Christina. Donald is also in Make Wellness, but is now doing a podcast with Autumn called Everything is Perfect. Their podcast is called Everything's Perfect, which is, I have on this channel accused some of these people of exaggerating their claims so much that I'm like, at least make it realistic. Like, if you're gonna lie, make it a believable lie. The fact that they named their podcast Everything's Perfect is honestly hilarious to me. So that is where everyone is now. They all unfollowed each other with the respective teams, and Carl, the CEO of Beachbody, who honestly should not be involved in the drama, unfollowed Erin and Christina, who are cast members in the program his company launched just a couple months ago. Dramatic. So that's where we are. So that being said, let's get into Kat Napolitano, because the things that she was posting have been absolutely bananas. So we are going to get into it. Okay, these are Kat's Instagram stories.
All right, it is time to get this party started. I think I'm actually going to do leg day. We usually do leg days on Saturday, but...
Spoiler alert, she doesn't end up doing leg day. She ends up doing Pilates instead. Kat has a history of saying she's going to do something and not doing it.
On Saturday, tomorrow, we're doing the Kentucky Derby. We're just very busy. So I think I'll go get that done right now, which I'm excited about. Yeah, we had such a great conversation on my Mega Motivator call last night. So Mega Motivator is a call I do once a week with our community. And we just check in on fitness and nutrition. I answer any questions that anyone has. And then I give them some powerful motivation. And what we talked about last night was, well, many things, but one of them was, it's not your fault. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think, the guilt and everything we carry around all the time, especially when it comes to weight and weight loss, it's really well, it's totally biased and not realistic because it's not your fault. A lot of it, right? So, and I know a lot of you women will relate to me what I'm saying right now. The reality is I could do all the fitness, do all the deprivation, not eat any of the things, not drink, and I could do that for weeks on end and lose like 5 pounds. And the woman next to me could do it and she would lose 15, and I was just like, this is not fair, man. This is just not fair.
Okay, I want to pause it right there because here's what I think. We all have a tendency to vastly underestimate how much we're eating, overestimate how much we're moving, and overestimate how much other people are eating. So like the naturally thin girlies. And yes, there are differences in metabolisms. There are differences in how people carry their weight. And like some people are just more petite and some people have underlying conditions. Absolutely. But once I started getting like really honest with myself and really counting all my calories in the last like year or so, I've lost most of the weight that I gained in my post Beachbody time. And I always realize that I'm underestimating how many calories that I'm consuming. And by the way, do whatever's right for you. If counting calories is triggering, don't do it. I'm not advocating for any particular like weight loss, weight gain, fitness. Like I'm just a person. I'm not a personal trainer. I'm not a dietitian. I'm not advocating for anything. But I will say that yes, while there are those differences, if you're assuming you're doing everything exactly like that person who's thinner than you, you're probably not. Because if she's comparing herself to, say, Autumn is also like more than 10 years younger than Kat. Autumn's in her mid-40s. Kat says later that she just turned 58. So that's a huge difference. Life stage being before menopause versus through menopause is going to be a huge thing. But also, I don't even have to see what they eat all day because we have seen Kat over and over go off the rails in her own words and start over. We've seen her drinking. We've seen her doing all this stuff. And we see Autumn be unable to loosen up at all and be super, super strict, be only ever eating as little as possible and super, like low caloric foods and her own recipes from Fix8 and being completely unable to have a glass of wine at all. So I don't think you and Autumn are doing the exact same things in the first place.
Here. And so here's what I will tell you. That's where I think science is really starting to advance with AI and everything. And that's why these bioactive precision peptides that we take, especially the lean, fit, and high.
Take a shot. She said bioactive precision peptides. While we're paused here, do you think I should make a playlist? I don't think I'm going to do it on this thumbnail, but the last 2 videos that I did, on the thumbnail it said science in big letters up in this corner. And I think I could probably, when we're talking about MLM stuff, I could probably have a whole playlist of just where we're like science because the science is always in the room. And like, why are you advocating for AI? Like, I know it's inescapable, but it's so bad for the environment. And so many people, I'm just, ugh.
Hydrated, that's the metabolic collection, muscle metabolic collection. When you take those, it like just levels the playing field. I'm not sitting around eating McDonald's every day. Let me get that clear. It's not that it replaces fitness and nutrition, right? So I'm not just sitting around eating McDonald's and Kentucky Fried Chicken and being like, oh, make me fit. That's just never gonna work. But when I put these peptides along with the work, the fitness and nutrition, I finally feel like I'm getting the results from the work I'm putting in. Does that make sense? Because genetics ain't fair.
If you do have a slower metabolism or you do have an underlying condition that makes it difficult for you to burn fat, like, a PCOS or some kind of hormonal condition, these peptides are not going to just like increase your metabolism or make you lose weight at the same rate as someone with a high metabolism. Like that's not how it works. That's not how any of this works. Also, if supposedly she's besties with Tanya, if Tanya's also taking these things, isn't then she still going to get better results doing the same thing? Like, how does it even the playing field? I don't get it. Like, it would seem like your bodies are starting in different places, and if you're both taking the same products, then it's going to impact your body, proportionally in the same way. Does that make sense? But it doesn't even matter, because I don't believe that these peptides are what is making the difference. And I will tell you why in just a minute. So put a pin in that. Kat's results are not any different from these peptides, and I'll show you why a little later on in this video. So you'll have to stay tuned to learn why.
It ain't fair. It's just not. And you can either be angry about it, or you can get to work and do something about it, right? And then you've got to learn to love yourself where you're at. Like I recently redefined what my weight loss goal was. Where I'm at right now, I'm good. And no one gets to judge that. I get to judge that. I could go extreme and lose another 10 pounds, but I feel great. And all my blood labs are great. So that was a mental adjustment I needed to make. I needed to adjust this idea that I needed to be super skinny. You know what I mean? I'm 58. I just want to be healthy and strong and happy. I do want to be fit. I always say that being a healthy weight is a part of being healthy. It's not about just letting it go. I don't think that's healthy. When people are like, I'm just going to be obese and love myself exactly the way I am. Don't get all freaked out, people. I'm just saying that I understand that battle, number one. I think that there's, so many things that you can do, especially now with these peptides that are out. And with fitness, you have to do fitness, and you have to learn control in your nutrition and balance, right? Because this girl ain't gonna live her life without wine. And also learning to love your body exactly the way.
We know that. We know Kat is not gonna live her life without wine. Yeah, she said a lot of stuff there, and yeah, you should love your body at any size, and you should love yourself. And if she's not focused on weight loss, if she's not focused on getting as thin as possible anymore, why is she doing faster way to fat loss? And why is she saying and posting all these pictures saying she's thinner than she's ever been? People are telling her, you're aging in reverse. That old chestnut again. Why is she focused on this? Because she wasn't obese. She never was huge. She was always kind of a mid-size, normal size person. I mean, what is normal? But she's kind of mid-size and always more on the thinner end. Obviously, if you're comparing yourself to people like Autumn and Tanya, you're going to get a skewed perspective. But if you are focused on being healthy and happy, why are you continuing to try to get skinnier and skinnier when you're already a pretty medium size? In my opinion, that's my opinion. I just don't. And again, we're going to point out that these Make Wellness products are not changing her body from what it was 2 years ago.
Way it is while you work towards your healthiest, best version of yourself. So anyway, yeah, I'm sorry. I just get so far.
Okay, yeah, love your body where it is and work towards your healthiest, best version. Is getting as skinny as possible your healthiest, best version of yourself? It's not called faster way to health. It's called faster way to fat loss. That's what she's promoting. She is promoting Make Wellness, which I guess is called wellness, but she's promoting fit and lean as these, two of these peptides that she's taking. So fit is one thing. You don't have to be lean to be fit. If you look at the shot put throwers or a lot of wrestlers, depending on the weight class, I'm always really interested when I watch the Olympics, because that's the sports that I like to watch, how many different body types there are in sports, depending on the sport. And you develop muscles in different ways depending on the sport. So And, those are like the most elite athletes we have in the world. So you don't have to be lean to be fit. And maybe you want to be leaner for an aesthetic goal. Like maybe you want that aesthetic. That's fine. I think you should be honest about it. I think you should be like, I'm healthy. All my blood labs are good. I can do all the things that I want to do. I want to lose 10 more pounds because it makes me feel more confident. And that is a beauty standard that I'm choosing to practice. We all choose to practice various beauty standards. I obviously love makeup, and doing my hair. And like, obviously my hair is purple. That's a beauty standard, I guess. My own beauty standard. I don't know. We all participate in different beauty standards. And I think it's fine to be honest about it and not just pretend that it's only health. It's like this holier than thou, like all knowing from above. And that's what these people who do personal development, they behave that way a lot. But if you are pursuing weight loss for aesthetic reasons, I think you can be honest about it. And if you're doing it in a healthy way, like, hey, I'm not doing this in an unhealthy way. I'm doing it in a healthy way, but I'm already healthy and the primary goal is just to look a certain way. Like, just don't act like you're like above that. Like, none of us are above participating in various beauty standards. We all do it.
Fired up. I love the ladies in our community, the women in Cat Pack. They're just normal women like me, like us. But I believe in them 1,000%. And I love helping them on their journey. And it's not a perfect journey, and helping with the struggles and the motivation and accountability. It's just awesome. And we all help each other. Like, they help me so much. I just get teary-eyed when I think about really how grateful I am for that community. Just amazing women. By the way, you can join Cat Pack anytime. It's $20 a month. We're all in there just crushing it. You can do any workouts. You can do any fitness. You can do any kind of nutrition. You can just come in for the mindset, whatever you want. But we really love it. So join Cat Pack and let me coach you. Let me help you. I love.
So what are you paying $20 a month for? Literally just accountability and her to do those calls with you when she has no types of certifications, no qualifications. She is not a licensed personal trainer, a dietitian, a nutritionist, even which my opinion, life coaching certifications are like, that's completely unregulated, so they don't mean anything. But even if she had like a life coaching certification, at least she would have some kind of thing backing her up. But she's charging $20 a month for the privilege of being in her group, where she's also offloading a lot of that encouragement labor onto the other people in the group. So yeah, she'll run these calls, but she's made a group so the women in there are responding to each other's posts and answering each other's questions, so she doesn't even have to do all the work. And she's the only one collecting the $20 a month.
Love helping women live a better life. So right now I'm going to help this woman live a better life and go get my leg day on. Hey guys, okay, before I crush leg day, I just wanted to get into some of these questions before they go away.
We don't need to watch this whole thing, but she starts to answer some questions about Faster Way that we already know the answers to, but this is how I knew that she was not only doing Make Wellness, she's also doing Faster Way to Fat Loss, which almost all of these Make Wellness people are doing Faster Way to Fat Loss too. Some of the Shackley people are as well. So you really can't trust their before and afters, especially if they're trying to use their before and afters to sell the MLM product, because they're also doing Faster Way to Fat Loss, which has very restrictive meal plans, intermittent fasting, carb cycling, tracking macros. They're pretty intense meal plans, and they have workouts too. And I think she said the workouts are 30 minutes. So we're just going to skip to the autumn shade.
There are only 48 hours left. That is what I just realized. As I jump in here, going to get my leg day done, there are only 48 hours.
The next day, she ended up not doing leg day. She ended up doing Pilates, which honestly is fine. Like, if you don't feel like you have the energy for leg day and you want to do Pilates instead, like, your workout should be for you and enjoyable movement and something that you enjoy doing. However, the only reason I'm calling her out on it is because she's supposedly a professional accountability partner that you are going to pay $20 a month for motivation to stick to your goals. And she's not even doing what she said she was going to do. And she's about to say here that the meal plans on Faster Way to Fat Loss go along with the workouts every day. And she did her workout at night. She ended up switching to Pilates. So did you eat all day for leg day and then you switch to Pilates? That's going to be a very different type of exertion.
Left for you to jump in and join us. We start on Monday for our 6-week group. And I am so pumped for this, you guys. It's 6 weeks, nutrition, fitness, me as your coach, Cat Pack. That's my community for women only, support, carb cycling. I mean, I'm just telling you that this has been a game changer. The ladies who have done this 6-week program absolutely love it. They love these workouts. They're so good for you. These workouts and the way the nutrition is timed are specifically to burn fat, build muscle. Now, when I say build muscle, don't freak out. We're not going to look like Mr. Olympia or anything. I mean, I hope you guys can see, like, it has been amazing what this has done for my body, especially being 58 years old, you know, like it's really, really important between my peptides, but really important is this app that I use that has it. And that's the other thing too I love about this app. It is a one-stop shop. Everything is in one place. All of my workouts, all of my fitness, all of my nutrition, all of my tracking, all of it. And you know, so we track macros, you guys, which for me has been a game changer. You know, I had come off of so many of these diets that had all of this restriction, like, and look, there's a time for that. There really is, to go all in, but you can't sustain that forever. And this is not like that. This is really teaching you how to eat for a lifestyle. It's got balance in it. There's no restrictive food lists. So it's really helped me mentally. And actually the ladies in my group talk about that. Carbs are not bad things, you guys. So, you know, it's really about learning how to pair them correctly.
Okay, while I'm paused here for a second, she said so many things that I want to try to address point by point. One, she said, this is the one-stop shop. This has everything you need. It has nutrition, it has exercise, it has carb cycling, it has intermittent fasting, all these things. Okay, so did Beachbody. Beachbody was literally marketing themselves as the total solution. In the Beachbody app, you could get your workout plan, you could get your meal plan, which was either Fixate or 2B Mindset. You could do carb cycling. Autumn had a carb cycling program, literally, countdown to competition, and which I hated because I need my carbs and I become a monster if I don't have them. And there was even mindset stuff in there. There was meditation, there was all that stuff. And I know after I left, they added Brendan Burchard's Growth Day. So they really did have everything. And it was all, even the accountability groups, the challenge groups were in the Body app. So they really did have everything. I think the one thing is intermittent fasting, but you could find how to do that for free. It's really easy. If you Google intermittent fasting, you'll find a bunch of plans. You can just eat within like a 8-hour window and then fast the rest of the time. So you can decide you're going to eat between 10 a.m. and 6 p.m. Or I think you can start with longer windows. I once tried it. It didn't work out well for me because I'm the type of person that I kind of need to eat every 2 to 3 hours, and trying to eat all my food in like a small window just doesn't suit my lifestyle. It just doesn't work for me. But it's really easy to find plans that people put on the internet for free. So if you're interested in that, the next point is that she said it's sustainable. You know, it has flexibility. You have to actually learn how to eat, and we're tracking macros. Okay, Fixate was tracking macros. Yeah, I was using those little containers, but I'm sure Faster Way to Fat Loss has portions determined, because they're not just going to be like, eat 5 servings of protein and they can be, you know, a 64-ounce steak is one of them. No, that would be like all your protein. Like, obviously there's going to be portion sizes in Faster Way. Sidebar, if you have done Faster Way in the past, or if you're in it now, I don't want anyone to join it. I don't want you guys to give them your money. But if you do have the meal plans, like PDFs or anything saved from when you did it, please send them to me, BethanyBrodeghem@gmail.com. I would love to look at them But from how they're describing it's stuff I already know, but just to be able to confirm. So yeah, tracking macros is Fixate. So that's supposedly sustainable. Also, for years, when she was a Beachbody coach, she said Beachbody was sustainable. She said it was flexible. I can have my wine. I'm getting better results than I ever have in my life. We're even going to look at one of the posts she did about Belle Vitale, basically saying, this fixed so many things about me, and now I'm happier than I've ever been in my life. It's like, you can't trust a thing these people say when the next new shiny thing comes out and they suddenly, that's the life-changing thing. Or the thing that was life-changing that you were gushing over takes away your ability to earn money off of other people's labor. So now the thing that is life-changing is the thing that allows you to earn money off of other people's labor. It's not the product. It's the fact that you can make money off of a downline. Like, that's why you love it. So did I hit all of them? Yes. None of this is different than anything she had access to in Beachbody.
With what you're doing. So the nutrition actually changes daily based on what kind of workouts you're doing. So it's genius. It is just so much smarter. And I'm really learning a great, positive, healthy relationship with food because it's not based on deprivation. And it's really, it's interesting. I used to think like, a carb is one thing or a protein is one thing, but it's not. All foods are macros, you guys. All foods, like most foods, have components of protein, carb, healthy fat. Like they're all of those things. So it's just amazing to learn how to eat for your life. It's like so freeing and healthy. So anyway,
the rest is her trying to get people to sign up for it. But I have so many things to say about that. Suddenly she has this healthy relationship with food. Suddenly she's learning how to eat for her life. She always said that about all the Beachbody programs, about Autumn's programs when she was besties with Autumn. And in my opinion, she's not doing anything differently than what she did in Beachbody. She might think she is because it's presented differently. But if you're tracking macros and you're carb cycling, you are doing whatever version of Fixate and the Fixate Countdown to Competition plan. And she showed in her stories, I didn't show them because there were some story panels with like some other people in them and I didn't want to blur the faces, but she showed her meals that day and there were no carbs. So why is she now being like, you guys, carbs aren't bad? I'm like, well, you're carb cycling. So clearly you're having days where you're not eating carbs, like the mixed messages. So Fixate, portion fix, carb cycling, timed nutrition versus macro tracking, carb cycling. It's copy and paste in a slightly different font. They've somehow managed to convince Kat, or she's convinced herself, that this is something new and different from what she was doing with Autumn. And maybe some of her fallout with Autumn is affecting her perception of these nutrition programs compared to what Autumn's nutrition programs were. But it's all the same stuff. There might be some differences in the details, but it's all the same stuff. And if they're all getting these really fast results, then it's not sustainable. I don't need to see a spreadsheet. I don't need to see the meal plan to know that if you are losing weight quickly, it's not sustainable. It's just not. It's just not. So this was the other thing I wanted to point out about what she said. She said, I've learned that a food is not like one nutrient. It's not just a protein. It's not just a carb. It's not just a fat. They all have some of all of them in it. And I'm like, yeah, everyone knows that. I'm sorry if I'm being a little bit condescending, but like, you didn't know that vegetables have carbs in them? They do. Meat has fat in it. That's why we have white meat and dark meat. That's why we have, fish oil fats, fatty acids. That's why we cut fat off of our steak. Like, there's fat in proteins. There's fat in Greek yogurt. That's why milk says 2% on it. Like, There's fats in these things. There's carbs in everything. Like, there's carbs in everything. Everything's a carb. I'm a carb. You're a carb. We're all a carb. Of course. Did you not realize that even when you were doing portion fix? Like, yes, we divide them into macros based on what the dominant nutrient is. And also, if you just learned this, how are you tracking macros? You are still simplifying each food down to its main macronutrient. That's why it's called macros. It's short for macronutrient. So I don't know what she's trying to say in these Instagram stories, but anytime you saw me go like, that's because she was specifically referencing Fixate and throwing shade at Autumn, which just makes me smile and kick my feet, because how, if anything, this proves that these relationships are so transactional. And it's something we in the anti-MLM movement say all the time. But you can see even at the very tippy top that once you take away that downline, everybody's priorities become really clear, and they will sell out like a 12-year friendship in order to get a downline somewhere else. But I don't know how Donald has stayed friends with Autumn, because he's in Make Wellness too. I don't know. Hi, I had to put on a hoodie because I went for a walk on my lunch break and I got a little sweaty because it's nice here. And then I got cold when I came back inside. So I know that it doesn't seem like it, but it's been a couple hours since I was here filming. We're going to look at cats, more cat nonsense, because this is what we do here. Here we have a before and after picture that I'm going to put up here that was posted this year. And let's just get into the shenanigans of this, because in the before picture, she's not posed. She's not paying attention. She doesn't know her picture's being taken. Actually, what it looks like is a still from 9 Week Control Freak. I recognize that wall thingy, that contraption, that I have bad things to say about that. That was no fun. And she was in that. So this is and it looks like to me, she took a picture of the screen. So it's distorted like thrice before it even, becomes a picture, which like definitely adds weight, like it's not as sharp. It's already on a screen. And then you're taking a picture of it with your camera, like with your phone. And then the after picture, she's clearly posing. She knows her picture's being taken. She's wearing all black and she's not relaxed. She's tight, she's sucking it in, probably. We all do in our after pictures. Like, this is not me saying anything about her body. It's me saying that we all do that in our after pictures. So here is another before and after that she attributed to Belle Vitale, which is like, okay, obviously you can see the biggest difference is that her pants are just rolled down in the before picture. You take a picture with your pants rolled down like below that lower belly pooch that we all have, it's going to show the widest part of your belly, but it's also going to, because workout leggings and pants and shorts and stuff are spandex and they're skin tight, it's going to be really tight. It's going to squeeze. So it's kind of give you like an artificial muffin top, whether or not you have one. If you have one, it's going to give you a bigger one. I hate using words like muffin top, but it's like, we all know what we're talking about, right? Like, it's going to just make your fat and even your muscle and whatever you have down there, like, squish out more because you're just squishing. And then you just roll it right up and it looks good. Also, the lighting is different. She's standing further away. Front facing, I honestly don't see that much of a difference. I just don't. Like, besides the pants rolling down, like, yeah, it looks like she could have lost some weight, but that could be like normal fluctuations. She could have taken the before picture at night and the after picture in the morning. You can make it look like you lost 10 pounds if you do that. Seriously, try it and then tell me how it goes. And then this is what she wrote. This is about Belle Vitale, by the way. My hormones were completely ruining my life. 57 years old, pre-diabetic, frustrated with not being able to lose that weight around my waist. By the way, this was October 18th, 2024. I have to interrupt the caption to say this was October 18th, 2024. So I don't know the exact date that she joined Make Wellness, but this is what she was saying just 6.5, 7 months ago. What? She's completely changed her tune to now these peptides, bioactive precision peptides, are the absolute life changer. So I'm like, this is what she was saying 6 months ago. Okay, 57 years old, pre-diabetic, frustrated with not being able to lose that weight around my waist, mood swings, hot flashes, low libido. Name the hormone symptom and I had it. Here's the hormone symptom that I'll name. Menopause. Some of those things they just happen in menopause. Okay? Are we all on the same page with that? You got to go through it. Ladies, we all got to go through it. There's no avoiding it. It's coming for us. It's coming for all of us. And buying Elise's program is not going to save you. Okay. But I found the answer. Isn't that great that she found the answer? This life-changing program comes out in December, and I am so ready to coach you through it in my private groups. To change your hormone health forever. I lost 13 pounds, my libido is back, my mood swings have vanished, and I feel like I'm 20 years younger. Let's get our hormone health under control together. I'm just like, this is the other thing you do when you overhype something like these MLM people have a tendency to do, is that then when your MLM goes affiliate and you have to move on to another product, then you have to overhype. You've already hyped that product so much that you kind of have to be like, you have to either admit you were lying or hope nobody remembers that you said that, or just be like, well, I thought this was the solution, but actually it's the peptides. Actually, that's the solution, and it's just like, you lose all credibility. I just don't get it. Like, I really just don't get it. I've been building the hype around Kat and her, my kind of proof, if you will, that she is not any skinnier than she was 2 years ago. And so let's look at this. This was posted March 13th, this reel. And it's not perfect, it's progress. So she has all these after pictures of, look at these. Just look at them, mark them in your brain. Yeah? We're all just pointing at her leg, all these. Okay, we're all looking at this, right? Just a ton of after pictures. Okay. Now, this was posted in August of 2023. This one as her before picture, which is kind of funny. But what? Oh, I've seen this. I've seen this before. I've seen that. I've seen that. I've seen that. Yeah, these are all the same pictures. So by March, she had left Beachbody and joined Make Wellness and Faster Way. And that is what she's shilling. And just 2 months ago, which is pretty, I didn't have to scroll very far on her. I didn't have to scroll at all. It's like still on her main grid. She has this reel of after photos and they're all 2 years old. So yeah, she has a lot of pictures taken recently, but if you compare them to that reel of the photos 2 years ago, it's all the same. It's not really that different. It's just a woman who's in good shape having natural weight fluctuations. Maybe because all of the yo-yoing she did on Autumn's program, it is TBD if she will be able to stick to anything from Faster Way. All of you watching who were in the Snark Crew has covered a lot of Kat Napolitano. Also, I think Stuff You Shouldn't Do on Instagram has covered her a lot. So if you want to go into the archives and see like all the times she's like fallen off the wagon and started over, you can go find that. But the point that I'm making is she's unreliable, she's inconsistent, and this newest thing she's very excited about right now. She hasn't been doing it that long. Let's see if in a couple years, let's see how much fluctuation she's had and if she's constantly posting about losing another 13 pounds, finally losing the weight around her tummy, or finally feeling like something healed her metabolism. Like, oh, now it's not her hormones, it's the fact that it was genetics. So in that post from October, advertising Belvital, it was her hormones. And she fixed them and she was finally able to lose those 13 pounds. Now, yesterday on her Instagram stories, she's saying, it was genetics. I could do the same thing as the skinny girl and not get the same results because of genetics. But these peptides healed my genetics, healed my metabolism. I don't know. And now it's all better. So it's like, what is it, Kat? Like, what is it? I think it's just that you have jumped from one restrictive eating program to the next. And I think you're fine. Like, stop trying to lose that last 10 pounds. I don't know. Do whatever you want with your body, but it's just a yo-yo all the time. So here's another before and after that's just like so obvious. Like, you are just standing at different angles. Though that angle is going to make you look a lot wider than the after picture angle. Also, again, it looks like we don't know what time it is, but it looks like it may be first thing in the morning in the one on the right. Obviously, whatever time she got to set to film 9-week Control Freak, she has like her makeup done and everything. So they have to go into hair and makeup. She's maybe has eaten a little something. Like, there's so many things that can make you look 10 pounds lighter if you know how to work your angles and you know what time of day to take your photos. Drop my phone. That Kat was a great jumping off point for this body frenemy drama that has been going on. So a little teaser for next time, because yes, as I mentioned at the beginning, Autumn and Donald have a podcast called Everything's Perfect, which in my opinion means everything is really hard. Like, you're trying too hard. Everything's not perfect. Like, overcompensating. But I grabbed this clip off of Autumn's Instagram, and let's just watch it together.
Remind me to suck my fat stomach in the whole time, because I really picked the worst shirt possible.
This is whenever you need to suck in your show, I'll do this.
So funny. Oh my gosh. It's so funny. It is. And then they're them dancing. Okay. First of all, everything about this is like 90s, early 2000s coded. Autumn saying she wore the worst shirt. She's wearing a crop top, if you're not watching. And she's like, I have to suck my fat stomach in. I think she's trying to come off as relatable or self-deprecating, but it's really coming off of one of two ways. First, what I think the unacquainted with Autumn people will think is popular mean girl, who is a total word I don't like to use about other women, being like, oh my God, I'm so fat, when she knows she's so skinny. Autumn has such little body fat. It has visibly gotten thinner over the years. We had a lot of comments on that when I did my video on her, where she was bragging about how long she could go without eating. There have always been a lot of warning signs with Autumn, but that leads me to number 2, which is this woman is self-obsessed, body obsessed, does not have an accurate view of her body, cannot handle any perceived flaw, even when you're sitting down having a fat roll, which is really concerning. So for me, as someone who is acquainted with Autumn via like parasocially, having been in Beachbody during the Autumn era and having done all of her programs up to 9-week Control Freak, which I DNF'd, and then I got out before the gut protocol, or obviously Belvital, because I got out in 2021. So Autumn has always said very problematic things about bodies and about her own body. And I have a very clear memory of one time in 80 Day Obsession, which was more unfiltered because they filmed it in real time. and she just talked the whole time. So I don't think there was much editing going on there, but we're cooling down, and we have our feet out in front of us, and we're touching our toes to stretch our legs. And she's like, I talk to so many women who are self-conscious about like the way their belly folds over when they lean over, when they sit down. But like, you guys, we have skin. That's not fat. It's skin. And I was like, who are you talking? Talk about yourself. It's fat. Like, and everyone should have fat there, especially women. Like, having fat on your body is essential for life, and it's not a bad thing. And we all have differing amounts of it. And that's good and fine. And some people want to get rid of some, and some people want some more usually on their booty. But, you know, we all have our different relationship to our bodies. But like, the fact that she chose to say it's not fat, it's skin, tells me like, okay, you are really out of touch with people not in the fitness world. Because sure, if you're only hanging out with like super elite fitness people who have six-pack abs, like maybe theirs is just skin, maybe yours is, but most normal people who work out as part of their lifestyle and then go to a 9-to-5 and have families and social lives and jobs and things like that, they're going to have some fat on their stomach. You know, like they're going to have some fat in other places too. And I felt like that was something she was saying to herself. This is totally my opinion, let me be clear, but I interpreted that as a person who sees any wiggle, any soft part on their body and thinks, fat? No, it's not fat. It's skin. It's skin. Like, I have to reassure myself that I don't have any fat on my body. That's how I take it. So just that 20-second clip, I'm like, you may have been joking, but you've said so much stuff over the years and the way you're talking in your Instagram stories, bragging about going so long without eating and becoming visibly thinner and thinner, it worries me. I've always felt like Autumn had a very unhealthy relationship with her body. And yeah, so that's just my opinion. That's my interpretation. I'm not living inside her head, but I wanted to tease that because I've gone live once and I think it would be fun to go live again. We had a really good time when we attended the Faster Way call. And so I thought maybe we could. There are 2 episodes out of the Everything's Perfect podcast, and they have it on YouTube here so we can watch it. I thought maybe we could watch the first episode together. So if you're interested in that, let me know. Or if you have other ideas for lives we could do, let me know. Please keep sending me stuff. You guys are a gold mine. And I'm so glad. Thank you to the subscriber who reminded me about Kat and that I was able to catch that, because she is just one of those people that is so problematic, but also feels like one of the biggest victims of MLM extreme fitness culture. And it's just she was the tip-off point for me to talk about all this drama. Maybe we'll go through each of these frenemies and see what they're up to. But yeah, so that's the main portion. I do want to say a couple things on a personal note. To those of you who have complimented my makeup, thank you. I am a makeup artist, actually, and this is related to MLM because when I left Beachbody and got my 9-to-5 in 2021, I had to deal with, let me scooch back to the middle. I had to deal with a lot of shame around having a 9-to-5. As you know, if you watch a lot of anti-MLM content, it is extremely shamed and like degraded to have a 9-to-5. You're just like one of those people that's working for someone else's dream, and you're just like one of those ordinary people and all of those things. And I felt very embarrassed. I felt like I had failed, even though 99% of people in MLMs it's designed for them to fail. And I felt like I had to be a business owner again in some way, shape, or form. So I took a makeup artist certification course. And in doing that, I learned that I really love to do makeup on myself. And I actually don't want to start a business where I have to get every foundation shade under the sun and worry about effectively matching other people's skin tones. Undertones are really tricky, and then makeup shows up differently on camera than it does in person. And I didn't want the pressure of doing bridal. And it just seemed like, I gained a lot of skills and it was really fun. And now I do makeup for me for fun as an artistic outlet. And I have started posting some tutorials on TikTok because people have asked me for tutorials, and they've asked me, a lot of friends in person, at rehearsals and stuff, like, show me how to do this. And so I've started posting tutorials, so you can see this look on my TikTok and a few others. I also did, during this time before I came to terms with everything, I also did a coaching certification course in the Enneagram, because I like the Enneagram and I'm kind of a dork. And I thought that would be fun to be an Enneagram coach and maybe work with companies and do like wellness initiatives with an Enneagram training and whatever. But I did that whole course, and at that point I was in therapy and I was deprogramming, and I got to a point where I realized that I like having a 9-to-5. Suddenly I was like, wait, if I start my own business, I will have to keep booking jobs as an independent contractor, whether that is a legitimate job, like working with HR in different companies to do like, team leader retreats, or, coaching the Enneagram with people, or being a makeup artist. I would have to continue booking weddings and headshots and whatever it may be. And as a 9-to-5 salaried employee, I can just go to my job every day and get a paycheck every 2 weeks. And even if I'm not super passionate about my day job, I like my coworkers, I like my boss, I like my hybrid schedule, and I like the stability of it. And then I can pursue the things I'm passionate about on my own time. And that's what I do, and I freaking love it. So as I'm posting these videos to TikTok, this is just fun for me. And I'm just recording something I was already doing anyway. So it's not any extra pressure or extra time or energy that I'm putting into it. And as far as the Enneagram goes, I just like to nerd out about it. So if you got this far, please tell me below what your Enneagram is if you know, and maybe at some point I'll do a video on Enneagram just for a change of pace, or maybe like a members only thing. But I am an Enneagram 3. If you didn't guess, that is my Enneagram. So I am actually a social 3, if you know subtypes. I'm a social 3 with a 2 wing. So that's me. This has been fun. Kat gave us a lot of nonsense. This frenemy group is going to give us a lot of nonsense. I appreciate you guys so much. Thanks for hanging out with me. I hope I was able to entertain you today, whatever you were doing while you watched this or listened to this. And be sure to kiss your pets on their little heads for me. And send me any stuff you see on the internet. If you haven't liked, if you haven't subscribed, and you enjoyed this video, please do so. And have a great day, everybody.
What does perfect even